If you've watched D&D videos on YouTube, you've probably noticed that a lot of them say that alignment is dead, that it's gone, like at most you're gonna have to change it. But I don't think that alignment is dead. I don't think it's outlived its usefulness. I still think it should be a part of D&D going forward. Also, it can't be dead. It's a rule. It's not a being. It can't be dead. It can't be killed. It was never alive in the first place. So attempted jokes aside, I do seriously think alignment is useful. And so I'm going to talk about ways that it is useful in D&D. I'm also going to talk about, valid criticisms, things to avoid when using alignment. Then I'm going to talk about the way that I use alignment. And that devolves into a series of questions, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about alignment. First, alignment is an essential part of the nature of celestials and fiends. This isn't even my opinion. This is in the book, page 122 of this here PHB. Some creatures are just born evil, and some are born good. Could say in the fluff text that they're born evil, they're inherently good, but alignment is just, a little quick thing to say they are evil, or they are good. And the dichotomy between law and chaos also adds a lot to, yes, they're evil, but what kind of evil? Like, are they like demons where they don't care, and if they want to kill you, nothing will stop them, and they will just rush into your house, destroy you? Or are they, devils? Are they lawful, more crafty? Like, they're not gonna, murder you, but they are gonna get themselves into an office, convict you of a false crime, and have you and your entire family brutally stoned. And then, also do other stuff with that power that they got, because now they have the power. So alignment is useful in this case, not just for describing, they're good, they're evil, but what kind, what do they do that is evil? How do they do their evil? So alignment is good for these kinds of creatures. 2, alignment is a descriptor. When a new player comes to the table, and if they have a character ready, I want to know who this character is, what they stand for, why they do the things they do. And if people have thought about it, then a thing they will use often is alignment. They will say, okay, my guy is a chaotic good character. They don't care about the laws specifically, but they want to help people. They just don't do they don't follow the laws. For instance, Robin Hood, chaotic good, will steal to help the people. Whereas King Richard, probably more of a lawful good person. Okay, maybe he's not lawful good since he is the law, but, you can show the difference between these two people. Not every chaotic good character is going to be the same. Not just like every 14 intelligent character is not going to be the same. But it is a descriptor. It gives you a taste, like personality traits. They give you a bit. Usually a character will become more than just their personality traits. They will do things that are not described in those, or their bonds or flaws and such. But they give you an idea of what a character is. Now let's turn over to mistakes that I think people are making in alignment that shouldn't be mistakes that are made, and also I think contributing to this idea that alignment is dead. First, DM preventing you from acting out of alignment. So there's Davy Chappie's video on alignment. He talks about how he and his friend were both lawful good characters, all right? He was a cleric. I think he was like the defender or something, as he called it. But anyways, they fought a villain, and the DM said, lawful means you followed the law. That man wasn't actually doing anything wrong. I mean, you didn't know it. The lawful character would have reported to the authorities and had them deal with it, because that's what the law says, so you don't get to level up. First of all, that's just not a very nice thing to do. And second of all, that's specifically not a nice thing to do because it's restrictive. If players think that alignment is restrictive, they don't want to choose an alignment, or they'll choose neutral, which means I can do whatever I want when I feel like it, so they can have the freedom to play the character they want to play, instead of being forced into what the DM decides is within the box. Now, some people will say, well, but you can choose, this is your main alignment. There are these other alignments that you can act in, the other boxes, but there are going to come a time when what you do as a character is going to be different from, generally what a person of your alignment would do. And that's a good thing. Your character is thinking for themselves. They are making a decision based on who they are, not what their alignment is. And that's good roleplay. We should be encouraging that, not punishing that. And 2, another criticism of alignment is that neutral is boring, all right? True neutral is like the vanilla ice cream of alignment. It's not vanilla yogurt because it has a bit of a sour taste. Either that or my yogurt's bad. Anyways, true neutral doesn't give you any information about what a character is, what they stand for, and even like neutral good or lawful neutral. Like, what is it? You're not a good person, you're not a bad person, so who are you? I mean, yes, gray morality loves neutral, but please give me more descriptors other than just you're not one or the other. And come to think of it, lawful isn't that great either. Does that mean you're, strict, always follow the law, everything is exactly as the law says? Or are you more like, for instance, American drivers, where like they say, well, yeah, strict to pass your driver's test, but no, here are the real rules. Here are the only rules that are enforced. Like, you can go, 5 miles, above the speed limit, but once you're like hitting 10, then there's a problem. And does chaotic mean you don't follow the laws just because they're laws and they should not be followed? Or maybe are you just a person who's like, if the laws get in my way, I won't follow them. But, if they're not in my way, then I'm not gonna, break them. What's the point? And, good and evil are also, they're easy to define in the extreme. For instance, Hitler, Satan, evil. Jesus, Mother Teresa, good. But what about characters like Snape? Yes, he's mean to people. He abuses his students, but also he's trying to protect them. So he's doing good things and bad things. He would be categorized as neutral, but again, neutral is just, that doesn't give me any information. For instance, is Dumbledore good because he fought Grindelwald, or is he bad because he didn't fight Grindelwald for a while? There's a lot of murkiness when it comes to defining people who are not on the extremes of good and evil. So alignment has a bit of a problem when it comes to that. We've gone past mistakes, now let's talk about the way I use it. I boil down alignment into 3 questions about your character, and that determines your alignment. First, what is your character's goal? Second, what is the objective moral value of that goal? And 3, if the law is an impediment to your achieving of your goal, what are you going to do? So the first one really doesn't define anything in alignment. It just, it's helpful for players to have goals. And the second one determines your alignment. So for instance, I'd rule that somebody who is here to defend the people by killing monsters, they'd be good. Whereas, somebody who wants revenge on goblins because his family was killed, he'd be neutral. Yes, he's doing good things, but he's not doing it for a good purpose. He's doing it for revenge, which is neither good nor evil. Generally in D&D, for alignment, I'd find good as helping others, bad as harming others, neutral, not doing anything in particular either way. You'll do what your goal is for yourself mostly. So somebody like Scrooge, he'd probably be like neutral. He wants money. He doesn't care about anybody. He's not trying to harm people, but he realizes, oh wait, I'm not doing good things and that's causing harm, or at least that's not preventing harm, and so I need to be good. Another example, Lavender Brown. She just wanted to snog Ron. That was all she was there for. But she didn't want to harm Hermione, but when Hermione got in the way of her snogging Ron, then she, wanted to harm Hermione a little bit. And so the third question I ask, if the law is an impediment to your objective, what do you do? I haven't figured out the best way to word this, but because I don't want to make it seem like if the law prevents you, full stop, there's no way to get your goal, what do you do? Or as opposed to if the law, you have to go a different way to get it. If somebody says, for instance, I will stop completely, then maybe their goal is law in and of itself, and this is just one of their personal goals. But if they say, I'm gonna look at the law, I'm gonna figure out what exactly I can do, what exactly I can't do, and then I'm gonna go try to get my goal, that's like a strict lawful. Whereas someone say, what's actually being enforced? Like, this is what it says on paper, but do they really, are they going to punish me if I, break the law in this regard? That would be more of a, enforced lawful. I'll only follow what's enforced. And what people I described before, people who, if the law gets in their way, then they'll ignore it, but, if the law doesn't get in their way, they're not going to actively seek out law breaking. That'd be focused chaotic, and then there would be, anarchic chaotic, where they actively seek out the destruction of laws. At some point I'm gonna write these all down, add a bunch more, here's enforced lawful, here's perceptive neutral, things like that, more things on the spectrum. But I really want to get a sense of why they what they do, what they care about most. So for instance, an example, in the Broken Lands campaign, Douglas McAllister is chaotic neutral. He was originally chaotic evil, but then when he came to the session, we talked about it, and so his player 4, said, so basically, Douglas wants his clan to be remembered. He wants them to be put into the history books, and he'll do whatever it takes to get glory. He doesn't particularly care if his clan is remembered as a righteous clan or an evil clan. He wants them to be remembered as a strong clan. So he's going to do whatever it takes to get that. So thus he's chaotic because he'll do whatever it takes. Neutral. Another example, my chaotic good fiend pact warlock. Yeah, I know that isn't right. Like, you can't be good and also have sold your soul to a devil. You know, usually that's not how it happens. But in his backstory, he found a girl who had been attacked by a demon or a devil. I think it was a devil. And then the devil came back and he was like, wait, I'll trade my soul for hers. She lives, I serve you. We cool? He's willing to break the laws. Like, he doesn't want to do it if people are watching. He's more of like a perceptive neutral as opposed to just chaotic. But for now, I think chaotic better suits his nature and just standard lawful neutral chaotic. He is good. He wants to help people, but he's going to break the laws to do it. He has broken the law, the taboo society of don't sell your soul to the devil, but he has good intentions and he's going to try, if he can, to break the contract he made with the devil in such a way that, the devil is no longer a threat and the girl he saved is safe. Because, as a failsafe, if he disobeys his master, she dies. And, just to show you why I think alignment needs a bit of this modification, my last thing, I promise, but my wizard, Jeffrick Exandriel, his backstory is just, it's like an amalgamation of urchin and noble and folk hero. Basically, he was an urchin who was adopted as sort of like a PR project by a noble family, and then they abandoned him when he was 18 and tried to kill him because they figured out some nasty secrets about what they were doing. And so he wants to destroy all nobles, but he's not like, I'm going to just come in here and I'm going to burn the place down. He's like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to insert myself into the court. When the time is right, everything goes. So he's very careful, he's very crafty, but what is his purpose? Is it good? Yeah, some nobles are bad, but some nobles are good. So he's ambiguous. There are some characters where instead of just being neutral, their motives are neither good nor evil. There are also people whose motives are both good and evil. And those people, I think, we need another thing like good, neutral, ambiguous, and then evil. But anyways, those are my thoughts on alignment. Please, if you think it's not dead, or if you think it's dead, let's have a discussion in the comments. Let's talk about this. But I think that's the end of the video, so I'm going to stop it right now.